will crush our enemies and cast down those who lead us astray.
The consequences of your actions here are irreversible.
You feel you are prepared now for this. Your reckless mission ends now.
What is going on, everybody? First of all, can you hear me? Are we live? Is it there? Hugo Martin,
Hello.
game director of Doom Eternal, is here yet again for this weekly series that we do. First of all, to everybody out there in the world, Happy New Year's. It's 2021. It has got to be just like a better year. We're just going to have to figure it out this year. And I mean, I say that knowing how much Doom content we already put out last year, Hugo. Like, let's just go through the list. Like, March feels like 800 years ago, but that was a year ago that Doom Eternal dropped. And then, of course, we've got all the battle mode updates. We've got all of the netcode improvements. Then we've got the free updates, which included like master levels. Now there's Super Gore Nest. There's all the way up to Ultra Nightmare on that. A bunch of rewards, a bunch of cool stuff. And wait a second, you guys dropped an entire campaign DLC for the first time ever for a Doom game. What feels like a year ago, but I swear to God, it was probably just a few months ago. Like, how you guys feeling? Where you guys at?
I'm feeling pretty good. We're deep into development. We got right back to it. I was just going to ask, how is my position? How I know I'm having internet issues. It's on my end.
It's
Since
okay.
I got back to work, we're having a little technical difficulties. Is it good? Is it okay?
I'd
Do I
s-
look like I'm from Minecraft, or is it a real thing?
I feel like you have like some kind of special, like, 1994 Doom edition webcam going on right now, which I think
Yes.
everyone in chat can appreciate. It's an aesthetic, it's a mode, it's just an option in display. So I think we're going to keep it like this for this time. But go ahead and scoot your body a little bit your side left, and then I think other side, other left. Yeah, not too much. Yes, that's it.
Perfect.
Don't ever move. You're a statue. You are the slave.
I won't.
Okay. So you were saying, yeah, it feels like forever since we've done this. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but in that couple weeks, we've had some holidays. On Steam, thanks to everybody out there for voting. Best soundtrack for Doom Eternal. It's an honor. Thank you guys. And that is just, again, like, we're not even finished making Doom Eternal content here. We still have DLC too. Like you said, you guys are nose down, just killing it on that right now.
Yeah, I think DLC 2 is coming out really good too. We will have a new weapon in there for players, and we've just been playtesting that quite a bit.
Okay.
A little bit of an insider announcement there.
Love it.
And we're excited for it. It does add a new element to the DLC, and allows you to get access to some juicy power. And I think the hardest thing for us was to figure out a way to integrate it into the Doom Dance. Listen, this is the second DLC to an extremely tightly balanced single-player campaign. There was not a lot of room left in the tool set, so to speak. We're asking you to press a lot of keys. Let's be honest.
true.
You know, Doom is a skill-based shooter. It's a skill-based FPS, not an open world experience, not an RPG. It's a skill-based action FPS. And so we have something to teach you. And based on the videos that I see, you guys have learned it. You've mastered it. You know it better than we do.
It's
And
good
we
to
learn
see.
from you guys now. You know, I'm not sure Mayo's not directing the game at this point, but the I'm just kidding. But
Shout out.
you know, it's what we hoped for. You know, we talk about black belts and the Doom dance, and we have them now, and you are those people. So we were able to figure out a way to we had planned it for a long while, looking at the kill equation of Doom, and what it is we're asking you to do, and where we think there's room to slip something in and it feel natural and not forced. That was the key. We had a couple of iterations of some different ideas that ultimately just felt like, I don't need to do that. You've got your quick switch combos. You've got your ice bomb. You've got your blood punch, your flame belch, and blood punch is being fixed. That is being investigated as we speak by the top people at id Software, and we just had a meeting about it today. And so we found a spot. I don't want to give it away. That we think there's room for even more power. And it does make you feel powerful, and as a result, I think DLC 2 has a little bit of a different feel to it. DLC 1 didn't introduce any new weapons, so to say that, then the engagement comes from the challenge. I mean, that's basically what the master levels are. They're like, hey, you've mastered the tools here, and you've beaten the campaign. Which is kind of balanced for everyone. And we know that the people who tune into a DLC are the hardcore fans. So let's give you a real challenge. Well, with DLC 2 and giving you access to new power, I think the experience is a little bit different this time. I don't know that it's necessarily as much about, it's a challenging experience, don't get me wrong, but it is as much about, you mastering, learning, and then just bathing in the experience and how good it feels to use this new attack. And I can't wait for you to see it. And listen, we would be selling our fans short. We're not id Software if we just show up and give you, just a new mod or
Right.
just a basic tool. I mean, it's a smart tool. It's different. We always want to exceed your expectations. So we really look forward to that. And I guess it's worth saying, my goodness, I look like a Minecraft person.
It's your cool filter. Just go with it. It's your very
Yes.
cool filter. It's so retro.
Yeah, totally on me, guys. Sorry, working it out. Technical difficulties. The main thing is we looked at the blood punch issue, and we're definitely investigating that. And there's some really smart solutions for that going on. Basically, you guys are redlining the experience, and multiple things are happening at once at the same time, with Gore triggering and the tiniest little piece of Gore, and your blood punch is actually hitting that tiny little piece of Gore and not actually the character, or a little bit of Geo, and like just a variety of different things that could happen. But with your help and your feedback, working with Josh, you guys have done a tremendous job in allowing us to be able to pinpoint and focus in on the issue. We're working very closely with the community, and you should see improvements on that at some point. We'll be loading it into one of the updates or the DLC or something, but hard at work on that and the no target stuff. Some balance stuff for battle mode coming. Some content updates for battle mode. So we're not stopping. We're not done yet. Really cool announcements in the future. We're not done yet with Doom Eternal. More cool stuff to come.
Speaking of which, so if you're here for the first time, welcome. You're in the right place. Thank you for being here. We are doing a series, Hugo, and I love the analogy, and I love how, in talking about this analogy, I think it's going to be perfect with the filter that you have on your camera right now, this old school pixelated filter, which is missing only the scan lines, that you talk about kind of what the series is all about. Like, what is the DVD commentary? What is a DVD? Teach these people what DVDs are. What's a DVD commentary? What's the idea behind this series?
We get a chance to play through a game that anybody who's tuning into this is a fan of the game. DVD commentary, you get a chance to watch your favorite movie, but the director, you turn on a knob and you get to hear the director talk you through the experience, the ideas that went into what it is you played, highlight some of the fantastic contributions of the great artists and designers and programmers and sound designers and musicians and animators and artists. It's crazy. All the people that come together, marketers, publishers, community managers like yourself, who come together to make this great experience. And that's it. It's just a celebration of the game you love. And I'll try to give you some good anecdotal stories about the experience. Along the way, I'll be looking for bugs myself, and if I become distracted, it's because I found one and I'm writing it down.
That's real. That's real, by the way.
I'm just being honest. I
It's
am
all
constantly looking.
under review again.
Yeah, it's never. It's you're asking a craftsman to go back over their experience with a magnifying glass, and of course, I'm always looking for the little tiny imperfections. But the pursuit of excellence is it's hokey, but it's true. That's what gets you up in the morning. So yeah, and that's it. We're just gonna get a chance to hang out with the fans, get my internet fixed, and it will be better at the next one.
It's okay.
And that's it. Just play the game. I haven't. So cool thing, I haven't played the game in a couple of weeks because I was on break, and I made a promise to my wife that I was not going to do any work, and I didn't. And I built a slot car track, and I played some games, and I played Cyberpunk, and I'm going to play some Hades. I play, which is actually work because I have to do research constantly. So
yeah, dude, market research. It's all about it.
That's right. And hung out with online with my friends, and it was good. Hung out with the kids, went fishing, caught a lot of bass. It was good. It was a good break. But what I didn't do is I didn't turn on our game. I didn't play it because I wanted to take a break from obsessing about this game. So, but I got a chance to play it over the past week. We're just back at the office, and it was awesome. It felt so good to just lay waste again. Doom Eternal offers you. I don't waste time like, oh well, the combat in this game doesn't feel like Doom, or that thing doesn't feel like this.
Right.
Like, these are different genres. I mean, that's really it. That would be like comparing rock music with rap or orchestra. These are different genres altogether. I mean, of course, I like playing skill-based action games, and I like making them. So, that's what we excel in. That's our category. But that's not to say that I don't love things in other games that they have to offer that just don't fit into our genre. But having said that, it felt so good to get back to Doom, the type of game that I love to play, and just tear it up against these demons again. It was really refreshing. So I'm looking forward to this. I want to play.
All right. Speaking of which, we finished Chapter 2. We finished Exaltia last week. We are in none other. We're going to Cultist base. We're going to see a Revenant. We're going to see the Super Shotgun. The meat hook's coming into play, which is the most exciting thing, I think, that so many people did not expect that came into Doom Eternal. So we will talk about it all. But first, we start in, of course, the hub area. We started in Fortress of Doom. So without further ado, I think chat is ready. By the way, we hear you, we see you, we love you, we see your questions. They are being pulled, they are being tallied. We will ask them both on YouTube and, of course, on Twitch. So just go ahead and keep asking. We'll get them.
Despite the pixelated Minecraft image, how's my game looking and how's my sound? Like, am I all good?
Sounds good from what I can see. I think chat will verify that also in a second. And yeah, gameplay. I mean, so far we're just looking at that beautiful fortress, but as soon as it starts moving around, I think we're going to be okay. And here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah, everybody's saying it's all good. So sweet.
Okay, chat. Let's make sure, chat. Let me know if the game looks good. What do you think, guys? Looking okay?
How are we looking? Smooth? PC Master
Minecraft?
Race? What do we got? Minecraft? What are we building here?
We got Tetris. How's it looking, guys?
I hear buttery. I hear looking nice. I hear crisp. I hear good. I hear beautiful. I hear looking fine. So
cool.
Thanks, everybody, for verifying that. Shout out to everybody.
Yes. So what is my next objective? I push down on the D-pad and I figure out what I need to do. I need to acquire a Praetor suit point. So the point of this part of the experience is this is your hub. And it's basically an opportunity to reward players, incentivize players to find items within the world to increase their power. Secret hunting has been a part of the Doom brand since 1993. Doom Eternal is no different. So throughout the level, if I find these Sentinel batteries, and this is the moment that we learn this, when I come back to the hub in between levels, I can increase the power of the player. Now, the way that we encourage you to do this is by challenging you. I always say that frustration is a part of engagement. If we don't make the game challenging enough as the levels progress to push the player into wanting to invest into their abilities and their guns, then you won't really care about secret hunting. You won't care about batteries. You won't care about doing any of this. And the promise with any video game, not just Doom, is that as we encourage you into our systems and gameplay loop, that is where the fun is. So it is going to be engaging for first-time players to find batteries, secret hunt, use the auto map, upgrade. And it's a loop. Like, you will see, I'll hit start in a second, that I have suit upgrades that I could use to even enhance my ability to find secrets, or I could invest them in the things that I find, like my abilities and equipment items and things like that. So it's like this loop as a game designer. And we use frustration to get you there. That's really it. And what does this say? Spend Praetor suit points to purchase Praetor suit perks. Praetor suit perks enhance your abilities or unlock new abilities. Shout out to Alex. I think I said that before, but Alex Whitfield, because he does our tutorials. This stuff is actually really hard. Like I said this before, we have lots of things to teach you. The way we do it is through game design elements, through sort of these bumpers that we put around you. The bumpers being frustration points that encourage you to invest in systems to power yourself up, to overcome and then eventually conquer those things. So the power fantasy that is earned is far more satisfying than the one that is just handed to you. And then you master it, and then you truly feel like the Slayer. But along the way, we have to use text, education, tutorials, different things to be able to teach you how to do this stuff. And a big shout out to Alex and Peter Sokol, our lead game designer, who does this stuff. Sorry. And here it is. Here is introduction to the suit upgrade tree path, whatever this thing's called, Praetor suit perk tutorial. I'm going to skip this, and because I know how this works. And a big shout out to Dave Rose, our lead UI designer. The dude's a monster, UI designer and artist, and his whole team of master craftsmen who do this stuff. The programmers, the UI programmers who work so hard to with those guys to do this stuff. Again, Peter Sokol and his team who work so hard to design these things and get them all working. I think initially when you play Doom Eternal, out the box, we always said this. We said that Doom, people often associate with a Doom game that it is a dumb corridor shooter from the 90s, a boomer shooter. And I say no. That, first of all, I don't want to spend $60 for a dumb corridor shooter. Right. And certainly a game like that is not going to engage me for more than an hour. Something like that is cool for like 40 minutes, and then you're like, yeah, whatever. So these systems at first, anything worth engaging in is going to have there's a learning period. So initially you see all the systems and things, you think, whoa, I got to figure this out, figure that out. I mean, like any game, right? I just went through Cyberpunk, I had the same experience. Yeah. And then as you spend time with things and you start to understand the value of these things, and you see that in Doom Eternal, they all work together, which is actually really cool. So I am going to, what should I invest in first, Josh? I even forget. What is the one that I usually do first? Fundamentals. I think I do the fundamentals one.
You've only got one token right now, right? Sometimes, that's right. Sometimes I even save it and just go, if I'm going to go pure ice bomb first, or if I'm going to go pure frag first. I mean, there's a lot of good ones.
Save it.
Okay, save it.
We're going to save it. All right, these are Sentinel guards from your past. They have gifts to offer you.
Cookies, if you will.
Cookies, if you will.
Everyone's always just like, hand me the Oreo, please. Sir.
I've heard them. To me, I believe that they are Sentinel medallions handcrafted by the ancient blacksmiths of Sentinel lore. To some, they are manhole covers. So listen, it's whatever you want it to be. It's your world. We all spent so much time trying to make this stuff cool and interesting. If you want to reduce it to a manhole cover, listen, it's your game. You could do that.
Maybe that's what people know. Maybe they're always just, like Ninja Turtles, just in and out of the sewers all the time. You gotta do what you know. Yes. It's fine. Whatever you think it is, it's probably what it is.
Putting yourself out there as a creative is a humbling experience. You have to have thick skin. I mean, when I was watching Twitch the first night the game was played, and Markiplier and all these great guys were playing this, they would reduce that wonderful fiction down to, where are the dudes with the manhole covers? I need those. And that was like, that's not what that is, sir. Those are medallions.
You're like, sir,
that's okay.
You're like knocking on his door in the middle of the night. You're like, sir, if I can interest you in the Sentinels Alliance and then the door just slams in your face, and you're like, all right, next door, let's go.
That's it.
Speaking of which, there's the lore. What's this lore? Where's this lore?
There's some good lore in there. Actually, you know what? I haven't actually on this thing gone into the lore yet a little bit. Lore completely optional. Story in a
Right.
Doom game, that's not what it's about. It's an action movie. It's an action game. Get to the action. That's what
Right.
we like to do. But along the way, we have codex entries. Each entry will fit into a slot. Each of these tabs is almost like a book, a book for you to complete throughout the experience. The AI tab gives you information about each of the AI, their weaknesses, a nice little blurb about some fiction related to them.
Love it.
But for the most part, this actually, and you could also see if I view the image, it'll actually give me
Love it.
information about weak points everywhere you turn in Doom. Every part that you invest in, we just strive to make it engaging, and the codex entries is just a part of that. So I always hit the wrong button.
And like you said, it's there if you want it, if you need it. You can take your time. You can slow down. You can like get the info,
Yeah.
get the intel, geek out on this stuff.
And we spent a lot of time. There's a story there to be unwrapped, and it all kind of comes together. In the end, it's actually a story about how heaven and hell was formed. If you read through to the end, at the very end, you see how it all went down and the Slayer's role in that. And big spoilers: the Slayer actually brought the demons to the Sentinel world and introduced them to the Con Maker, who is
Whoops.
kind of like, I don't want to say it's heaven, the
Yeah.
the maker world and Urdak. And so that was kind of introducing hell, to heaven, and how that story kind of unfolds is pretty interesting. Or don't read it, but it was really cool to see people ultimately, because we have this really cool, it's part of the Doom universe, we get to go to these really cool places, and see cool stuff and shoot cool things. So we're early in the experience. This is the third level, and we have a lot to teach you. There's a lot in Doom. You're still kind of learning all the different aspects of the game, and soon you're about to be unleashed. I would say after this level, the game kind of like lets you go, and the game, I think we would all agree, really takes off once you get that first really strong power weapon, the Gauss. I always say that, the ballista, which is down in my hub. Let's be honest, the Gauss and the ballista are basically kind of like the same gun, but
Yeah.
the that is down in my hub. I really think the game, from a gameplay perspective, sort of takes off at that point. But these are mission challenges. These again, a variety of different ways to power up the player, offer tweaks to the experience to increase engagement. It's all we care about. We just want you engaged. If you bought Doom to turn it on and sleepwalk through it, you're gonna have a problem. The game, if you meet the game on its own terms, I think you'll see that it is a really engaging experience. So I can sign up to do the mission challenges. I can pin them to my screen. I can tell you from a development perspective that getting that shit to work is a giant pain in the butt.
To have those little
but it
like
does.
reminder boards turn on and off because it's like a
Oh
part of
my
the
God.
HUD, and it's like, yeah, there's so many other things
Listen,
going on.
a bazillion things going on, and I mean, it's just like, oh, the pin, it's pinned, but it's unpinned now, and then it's pinned, and then if I blood punch the guy, it pins. Every single time something happens, it's like this network of things, and so anything could shut this stuff off. Anything. I mean, it's crazy. So, and it does. Like
Yeah.
throughout development, a million things shut this off. So to get this stuff to pin, I don't even know if it still works. Let's see if it still works.
Let's try it out.
Let's hope.
Let's try it
Let's
out.
see.
We're in
Look at
the-
that! Pull the crystal.
You gotta
So,
pull it.
that's right. And what
This
we
just
do
reminds
from
you.
a game, yeah, from a game design perspective, I kind of like to make this also a little bit of a class for young game designers.
Yeah.
You really want to encourage players into. You're constantly funneling players back into your combat loop, your game loop, your main thing you have to offer. So acquiring a Sentinel shard, I mean, that's a part of secret hunting. We want you to find Sentinel shards, care about them because they make you stronger, willing, incentivize it with a challenge. And if you do it, we'll give you a cookie, in the
Yeah.
form of a Sentinel battery. So these things kind of, it's a loop that feeds into itself. Ignite 4 demons with a single blast of a flame belch. We're trying to teach you that flame belching things in groups is good.
Right.
Destroy an arachnotron turret. We weren't kidding when we said you really should do that. And guess what? On this level, if you do it, we'll give you a cookie. And we have weekly challenges as well. By the way, on the weekly challenges front, I felt that the weekly challenges were really tedious. Some of them. I didn't like how you had to dive
You mean
into a single
previously?
level
Yeah.
previously and
Yeah.
do like these tiny little challenges, and in my experience, I had to kind of like start up the level and stop it because I did the thing and started up again because
Yeah.
that's where the Mancubus was.
Yeah.
So I asked them to be revised.
Right.
That clearly based on your feedback, fans. That was wrong. You don't want that changed.
Everybody likes doing all the because that's the thing. Like you said before, it's like, in the second level, or no, the first level, like that's where we teach you, okay, this is an Arachnotron, that's the turret, you should hit that. We'll put you in like a situation where we stop the game and tell you to do that. And then now we're on level 3 and we're just like incentivizing it that like, if you choose to do that, we'll give you more agency of how you want to build your Slayer, how you want to do your power fantasy. But I love these too, because these kind of just like, once you beat the campaign, you've kind of done all like the dance that you've been asked to do. Or if you haven't, you can go back and, do all these different challenges for the levels. But I love these new boys. And I think it's just like that community sentiment overwhelmingly was, we actually like all of these challenges as deep as they can go, as far as like, okay, you need to not only freeze these guys, but then they have to be killed with like the plasma this mod. But it's just one of those things that makes you play the game differently, and it's just another reminder of like, whatever style you're locked into, there's more. And some of these you might even end up adapting into your own style and being like, damn, that was actually pretty effective. I should download that into my play now. You know what I mean?
Which was what the mission challenges were for, and the weekly challenges. But I thought after many months, it was like, why don't we lighten up on that, simplify them a little bit? But it's not due to a lack of effort. I can tell you guys that more detailed challenges are just as easy to set up as some of these simpler challenges, like complete one mission on Nightmare. Yeah. Some of these are built to be able to encourage you guys to level up. Like Doom is a game of skill, and like anything, we want you to earn higher and higher belts within our combat system. And so some of this stuff, like complete one mission on Nightmare, is meant to encourage you to just basically get better, because the better you are at Doom, the more fun it is. But we'll go back to some of the old stuff. How do we do like a mix too? Like we can maybe mix it up, keep some of this stuff, bring in some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll bring it back. But that was me. I asked for that stuff to be changed. I read your feedback. They were like, these guys.
He's like, if there's a crucible, Hugo wants to fall on it, and he wants you to know. But yeah, we're gonna get those violence events back in. The more
violence events, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
The hardest thing about playing this is not having all my toys, because like I was just playing Urdak.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're just like, where's all my stuff? So along the way, so what I wanted to show you guys was like, you really want people paying attention. Like if the answer to your game is, especially in our game, look, we're not an open world game. We have our genre. It is a skill-based FPS shooter, the roots of Doom, and pushing forward on the joystick and that being the answer to everything is awful. Is awful. So what that's
the sleepwalking you were talking about before, right?
It's terrible. Yeah. So you see like, oh yeah, probably have to go up there, and then that I start to have to put it together, and we don't tell you that that's part of the equation. You have to take a leap of faith, and you're engaged. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, it's kind of like in a movie. I think we've all experienced this, where like I'm sitting there and I already know who the killer is, and I know everything that's going to happen, and everything that I think is going to happen happens exactly the way I thought it was going to happen. Right. That is boring as shit. So
look at that little devil. Look at that gargoyle. Look at you finding
those toys. Yeah, so we just want you looking around. That's it.
I'm gonna pull a question out now from chat. This is from Covenant Slayer. The question is, because we were just talking about Arachnotrons and the weak point as you pulled up the in-game version of kind of showing the weak point and everything else. The question is this: with the origin of the Arachnotrons in the Codex, I can understand if you don't want to reveal it for spoilers, but by the original Spider Mastermind, is that referring to one of the 2016 or one of the from the first game? So the question is the Arachnotrons and kind of like where they come from, is that supposed to be a reference to the Spider Mastermind, the one, the only, in 2016?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd have to read it, and I'm supposed to know that because I am the person who made that up. But
yeah, that was probably like more than a couple of years ago for you now at this point.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Hard
So
to keep it all fresh.
Yeah, listen, fans, we're keeping it real here. So I'm being honest that I think, if I remember correctly, and I don't want to stop and read it right now, is that it was in reference to the Olivia Spider Mastermind. Yeah, like I believe it was in reference to that, but I would have to read it. I think John Lane our concept artist, wrote that one.
Nice. That's a good one.
So
Yeah,
rewarding you.
Everybody remembers and loves the Olivia one because that was a crazy final battle in 2016.
Yeah.
Spoilers that ended
So
with one of the coolest cutscenes ever. Yeah.
So here's some cool stuff. So
Yeah.
obviously this. So if you read the codex entry for this level, you'd
Mm-hmm.
see that this is some ancient location that has been unearthed, and what it implies is that at some point in some other timeline, the Sentinels and the Makers actually explored this world. Earth. That they were on Earth. The Sentinels were on Earth. That ship is actually a cultist ship.
Ooh.
This is the cultist division of the UAC. And so here's a cool backstory. At one point, we actually had the end of this level. We had a level where you were on that ship. I'm sorry. We had a level where you were on another ship.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, you jumped on a cultist ship. We made the asset. The whole level was going to be in outer space. We were going to have zero-G stuff happening.
Oh, damn.
Wasn't fun. Wasn't fun.
Zero G is hard to make fun, man. It's hard to make fun.
Well,
it's just so slow.
Limiting the player's movement is fun in not fun. It's challenging and it's a good pace breaker in small doses,
Yeah.
and fans of the purple goo know that all too well. But
Yeah.
a whole giant sequences where I am slowed down and swimming around, that shit was not fun at all.
Right. Right.
So we worked and worked and worked on it and ultimately bailed. We just didn't like it. But we had this super sick asset that we had made for it, designed. John Lane designed that, our incredible artist. On Cameron Kirby, he's our lead prop artist, and his team modeled this along with Lear's guys. And we put it in the environment because this is part of the cultist space. It was a cultist ship, so it is just really cool. And we know that the priest who runs the cultist division, I thought that was really funny that there's like this evil hell priest that runs this multi-billion-dollar corporation. It's kind of like if Satan and the Pope and Jeff Bezos were combined together, that would be the hell priest who runs this.
A lot of objectives under one priest there. Yeah. I like that.
Exactly. So this was made by Nick Dunbeck. I didn't give a shout out. So Jason O'Connell made the gameplay for the previous level, and it's one of my favorites. And Jason's a monster gameplay designer for our team.
Just had a birthday too. Happy birthday, Jason. What's up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the level for that one was we have level designers, we have gameplay designers. Sometimes level designers do gameplay, sometimes gameplay designers do level design. Most of the time they do both. It's a combined effort if you want to be a game designer. It's definitely a collaborative process. And Nick Dunbeck did the level design for the last level, and he did the level design and I don't want to quote myself. I believe Nick also did the gameplay design pass in this level as well. So big shout out to Jason and all those guys for doing such a tremendous job. Artistically, look at this shit. It's crazy. So the guys spend a lot of time. I wish we could push a button and bring like Billy or Lear in here, or Tony, our art director, and they could go into detail on how impressive this stuff. I think Digital Foundry does such a good job breaking down why this is so awesome, and our whole tech team is just a group of monsters.
Absolutely.
But we are able to put a ton of polys in this world at the same time with textures and reflections and blah blah blah. And for me, I'm just like, guys, my jaw's on the floor. I'm like you guys. I mean, I play test the game every day as I do my level design reviews, and then I'm just more and more impressed every time. It's
100%.
Just awesome.
Speaking of which, and speaking of the skull you're about to push in, I have another question from chat specifically to this. Let me find it. But here we go. So Johnny Blade, this is the question from Johnny Blade from chat. He said, if it's not a spoiler for future DLC, I love how everyone is so respectful of spoilers and DLC. I love you guys. You guys are always thinking ahead. So if it's not a spoiler for future DLC, considering the environmental storytelling and concept art, can you confirm that Cultist tech, with all the heavy metal skulls in the walls and controller demons, is the same sort of evolution as Maker tech in terms of the archangels and the architecture?
Yeah, I mean that's you guys are fucking smart. It's crazy. Yes, what we see is that the makers pull the strings, and and that hell is like the energy, the creators of the energy. They're like the bees, right? And everybody wants the honey that the bees make, and they exploit the honeys for the bees make. And of course, like in any good action movie, everybody. It's like I'm gonna mix up my IPs here. It's not the Tyrell Corp. Who is the corporation in Aliens? It's Wayland
Yeah.
Industries.
Yeah, it's Wayland.
Yes.
Mhm.
I've got
Nailed
like
it.
45. Yes, 45 shirts from Wayland.
I know.
So,
I almost had like one to pull up, but I.
Yes, completely. So Wayland thinks they can control the aliens.
The what? What were you saying?
Wayland thinks they can control the aliens.
Sorry, I've got a.
But they are.
Oh Jesus! Sorry, I had a sucker in the room. Sorry, we're back. We're back.
Wayland thinks they can control the aliens, but they can't, and that's kind of what the demons are in the Doom IP, and so I would almost consider like the makers like this high level influence, on the UAC. Certainly, obviously, there's the demonic influence on the UAC. We see that the Hell Priests, who are kind of like the intellectuals of the Hellverse, they're kind of like the businessmen who are controlling. They're to me, they're like the circus ringleaders, with the whips. And the demons are the lions and the bears, right?
Yeah.
And everybody thinks they can control the lions and the bears until, of course, the lions rip everybody apart. And that's kind of what the story of Doom is that the makers thinks they can harness the energy of the demons, control them. And the Slayer knows that's not going to happen. And, of course, at the end, when the con maker loses everything to the demons, I mean, she unleashed hell quite literally on her own world. Well, technically, the Slayer did, which I think is so awesome that the Slayer just destroys heaven, and he's just like, yeah, this just got to happen, lady.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another one of those things that's in the Slayer's way, and anything that's in the Slayer's way, it's got to get just
that's right.
taken care of. Anything that's in front of him will be flat by the time the Slayer is done. I like, too, how you're, like, respecting his weak points, even though you're like, I've got this button I could press. There it is. Just let those go, and that happens actually for the first time in this level. Like that's the first introduction to those plates, right? I love too how this is just like it turns out like as soon as you enter this room, you see some zombies, some fodder. You're like, this is fine, and then it just turns into like a Mancubus closet of pain with all the Mancubus all the time, wanting for those blades to be activated. You gotta love it.
So it's funny when I play this game, every time I think about the fact that I'm being watched, I miss all my shots. And when I just play normally, then I don't miss my shots as much. But credit to you guys who play Twitch, because every time I think about the fact that you're all watching, I'm like, I can't miss anything, and then I miss everything. So those buttons, Nick, always looking for different ways to engage the player, to keep them thinking.
I love it.
And I believe it was Nick who prototyped that stuff in there. As a game designer, at id, you really have an opportunity to contribute in a variety of different ways. He's the one who also made these mines, that are everywhere. I believe it was Jason who did the fire wheels, in our game, in a prototype. The little story on how that stuff, kind of came about is that what we found on Doom 2016 was that when we, Doom 2016 is an amazing game, but it was, if we look back on it objectively, it was kind of a one-trick pony. And a lot of the criticism that we received and that we felt about the game was that at its best, it was an incredible, inventive action game that had just enough of the 90s in it, and just enough new stuff to really make this refreshing, aggressive first-person shooter experience that was unique to the marketplace, and all of that is accurate.
Yeah.
But
not too bad. Not too bad. There, go ahead.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It did kind of have not enough tricks, like it kind of like had the push forward combat. It had, great shooting, but let's get some of the goodies here. It had the great shooting. Oh, I'm about to screw up the game. I do want to get that secret. What are you gonna do?
You gonna get the one outside behind you or no? Because there is that other one outside where you can go around there and get a 1-up. But I think you're good on 1-ups. You already got 3. You already got 3.
I do want one, because
You
if
want
I
one?
die,
Alright,
I'm gonna be embarrassed.
Pop a left. Bust the left at the lane here. Yeah, this way.
Yeah. So part of what we hope to do here with shoot triggers, these are called skill-based traversals. So it's like it's not too hard. but it just demands something of you, just a little something. We find that those age like pretty well because the better you get at the game, the easier they are to do.
Like you just make it a part of your fluid movement, and you're just like pop that, do this, and you do it all like in chorus, right?
Totally.
That imp wanted to be farmed exactly that way. He wanted the flame belt, she wanted it all. Damn though, this Hell Knight is not interested in your assault. Not interested. Like, I never thought in 2016, like, not having the destructibleness that this game had was ever lacking, but as soon as you see the way that like Hell Knights start to disintegrate, start to just the chunks fall off, you can see bone coming out everywhere, like you can't go back. It's one of those things like you can't unsee, and you're like, that is the standard for how demons are supposed to get wrecked by this arsenal, right? It just feels right.
Yeah, totally. And the feedback, when it comes to the guns, it's as much about what happens when I pull the trigger as anything. Let's let him ignite the swords first. So this is a little bit of a tutorial there. Teaches you like, hey, look, you can totally wreck those guys. If you just right tool for the job. Essentially, what id makes here, what we make is we teach you a bunch of moves. Like that's a move, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing to do. And then by the midpoint of the game, you kind of got all the moves for the most part, and then you just start to combine them completely organically in whatever way you see fit based on what it is that you see in front of you. And that's it. It's really that's why people say that we have a lot in common with a third-person character action game, like Devil May Cry, because they end up being kind of like combinations that you sort of put together. So one thing I wanted to mention was just not giving you the answer there so easily. I want to go back out there, but like you have a sense of where you need to go, but we use the wall climbs. It becomes a search for the right material to allow me to progress. Again, anything but just walk forward. Like who cares about just walking forward? That's not worth your time.
Look at this rocket launcher though. Look at that redesign. Isn't that our boy Colin? Is that Colin there?
That is Colin
Mr.
Geller.
Yeah.
One of the great young designers at our studio. I don't have Ice Bomb yet, do I?
No.
I think I do. Don't I have Ice Bomb?
Or wait, you just did not switch it? Yeah. You should.
I'm curious. I forget because I want to be able to switch it.
Oh, did you reset the binding on it or something? Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, I want to. So if we go to custom, switch equipment.
Custom. And by the way, shout out, Hugo plays with an inverted stick, which is a really rare FPS bird out there in the wild. You gotta love it.
I do. I also heavily favor playing with paddles to be able to do what I want to do, like in Warzone. I need my paddles, but
you're playing vanilla today though. You're playing with a
standard
Xbox controller.
I told you, yeah. I wanted to try to play vanilla. Well, I mean, my standard layout is just an Xbox Elite controller, or if I'm playing PS4, I'll put the Xbox, the PS4 paddles on there.
There you go. Now the ice bomb's out, plus the frag, plus the flame belch, and all of a sudden we're only looking at one Mancubus and all the weak points are gone and glory kill.
And Josh knows this because Josh is actually better at this than I am. But like, so we give you these moves, right? You could burn stuff, and that gives you resource, and you could freeze stuff, and that if you upgrade Ice Bomb, that'll give you resources, and you do these different things, and it's by design that we kind of lay these things out on the table, and you can put them together into combinations as you see fit. So you see that I triple stacked my resource allocation there by icing and grenading and burning and killing. And so I get health, I get all kinds of things back when I do that. The simple combo of, I haven't upgraded my Ice Bomb yet, so I don't think I got health back for that one. But the simple combo of glory killing a guy, but burning him before you glory kill him, right? You see him flashing, burn him, glory kill him. I mean, that's like the phase 1 combos. But as you progress in the game and you upgrade Ice Bomb, you could combine these things together. And again, that's what black belts do, And in the DLC, as you all know, we have to account for that. Like, if we make DLC content for our single player campaign, and that's for people who have the full arsenal, and then we unlock the full arsenal for you at the beginning of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who knows how to use Ice Bomb knows that basic quick switching Ice Bomb and Flame Belch, I mean, Barons are dead.
They're
like
done.
They're nothing.
Yeah,
you're
especially if
fucking
it's
done.
just one. You're like, okay, that's
Oh,
deleted
yeah.
next. I need maybe a little bit of ammo. I'll look for fodder, chainsaw, and
Oh.
we're back. You know what I mean? To 100% for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
You know, so that was just a good demonstration there of like as I unlock more and more abilities, I start to be able to stack them on top of each other. So when we played this last, I'm gonna share with you guys a little
Here we go. I was
information.
waiting for this.
I noticed something with the Cacodemons, and I have figured out something that my battle mode Spicy Demon crowd has been mentioning to me for a while, but I haven't been able to put it together until the last playthrough.
Yeah.
And I know what it is, and we went over it at id as soon as we came back. I want to tell you, it was not easy. I figured it out right before the break, and then the neurotic person in me had to hold on to that for the whole break because I'm a director and I didn't want to drop that on people. Hey, right before you go to break, by the way, we have to fix this thing. You know, like,
hey, have a great break, but don't have too good of a break because we got a lot of work to do. We're going to start with this.
Exactly.
Go now.
I just sat there with it, and I have to tell you, the opening days of my break were me just like staring at the wall. My wife's like, "What is your problem?" It's like, we got to fix
You got
this
that
thing."
100-mile stare at all times. You're
Yeah. So it's actually nothing. Like basically, we fixed a problem with him from day one, and his traversals through the space. He would get stuck on a lot of stuff. We've actually fixed that. But then what happened is, and this is how tightly balanced Doom is that we balanced him in terms of projectiles, pursuit speed, the strength of the projectiles, the speed of the projectiles, the frequency at which he shoots projectiles. All of that was balanced on day one for what we realized now is a Cacodemon that would get hung up on stuff. You know,
Right.
his navigation stuff was a little bit mungy. We made that better in one of the patches. But now we have to rebalance the character. And if anybody plays battle mode, you know the Cacodemons are shot out of a cannon. I mean, they're crazy.
Those
and
AI
that's why.
come out like
Yes.
F-14s.
And so I was asking, dude, hell yeah, and Zan and those guys I talk to all the time, even you. And I was like, you notice anything with Cacodemons? And no one would say anything. I mean, dude was like, they're perfect. There's nothing wrong with them. They've never
Well, it's
changed.
because everybody adjusts,
So
right? You're just like, well, they're good. They're aggressive as shit now. They have a really good flight nav path. They're just really aggressive now. It's fine.
And when I watch you play, I'm like, yeah, well, Josh murders Cacodemons in seconds. Like, no Cacodemon is alive in front of any of you guys for more than a second because they're easy to kill. I mean, the counter to a Cacodemon is not that hard.
Yeah.
So, you don't. What it is, good players, they don't notice. Average players, new players who maybe missed that sticky bomb shot or take a minute and get pursued, it's a little bit of a rich get richer, poor get poorer kind of a situation from a game balance perspective. So in DLC 2, we will be updating the Cacodemons to kind of rebalance to account for the fact that they pursue a little better. Zoomy Cacos, not really going to fix that. I mean, we're looking at that, but essentially that's just them kind of fixing their flight path. And we have balanced that out. So I don't believe that happens as nearly as often as it used to. Once in a while, you might catch one. But also, we're going to fix the pursuit speed of the Cacodemon. All of these are just little knobs that you touch. For those of you who want to be game designers, I mean, it's like tuning a piano. You know, you have to kind of go back to it. You know, you hit that string, you listen for it. Is that
you're like, attitude? Where is that middle C for Cacodemon?
That's it. You're like, and you walk around the office and you're like, I hear a sound. One of the 50 million strings that makes a video game, I think, is out of tune. You know, like, and as a director, you know, you drive people crazy. It helps us if you have a little bit of an obsessive streak in you, if you want to be.
Which all the best players do, right? That they all do.
That's right. Oh, dude, all you guys, I tell you guys this all the time. You all make great game designers. All of you. You know, like Mayo. You need to make a video game. You know, Bite Me. I've never seen anybody more thorough than that guy. The notes that I get from the team, there's just one guy, I can't remember his name, but I was talking to him on Spice Demons Discord, and like he was so thorough in the feedback that he was giving me in terms of like exactly where the thing. It's amazing. I mean, and you know this. I mean, Josh talks to these people all the time. It's like it's remarkable how useful it is. What should I pick, Josh? I like equipment. I want access to more equipment.
Yeah, 100% equipment all the time. Always. And by the way, I want to point out that the way that you got here traversal-wise, you just did it willy-nilly because you're so used to doing it. But I feel like Cultist Base, this level, I love the design of this level because it teaches you things about how to use monkey bars where you're like literally going forward and then going back on the same monkey bar. It teaches you things about verticality. Like, this is the ultimate teacher of like, do you see green? You need to get to green. Figure it out, right? Like, crunch onto things, grab walls, all that stuff.
We worked hard on you can't. It's the sweet spot of enough hand holding that I'm rewarded for looking around. You know, like you're down. I don't want to jump down here again, but you're down here and you're like, oh yeah, and you figure it out, right?
Yeah.
You see the wall climb material. That's a symbol to the player that communicates something to them. You see the punch symbol. You see a monkey bar. You glue it all together, and you figure it out. And what does that mean? You're engaged the whole time. Absolutely. All right, everybody's favorite demon.
There they are. There she is, and that's just one of them. You wrecked them, though. You absolutely destroyed them because why? You had the right tool in the job that time. And again,
I did.
You don't have lock on yet, but you still know that creating that distance with the rocket launcher, getting that blast radius going, like you're just clearing out the path to make sure that the whiplashes don't completely pop off, because when they do like that, they don't miss because that ground, it just hits everything. So you get a little bit of ammo back here. You got one more. That was a full restock though, almost on health. And they're just so like, I gotta say, there's so many new demons that are like such a beautiful addition to this game in Eternal. But like Whippies, like I love Whiplash because she will force you to like respect her in a very procedural way, right? Like as soon as you have the tools, you're like, I will 100% save an ice bomb if I know there's a whiplash. I will always use lock on once I have it with the rocket launcher because I need that chess piece off the board. Before you go in here, wait. I want to turn around for a second. Let's go to the one secret because we didn't hit the other dope fish, spoiler, but I want to do this one because I want to talk about how the hell, a million years later, the dope fish, the Commander Keen reference, got back into Doom. So let's hit this secret and let's talk about it.
Yeah, dope fish. You know, that's a part of the Commander Keen thing. So we hang a couple of these, you know, around the world, you know, for players to find. That's just a part of the id legacy, and we love seeing that. Oh yeah, I did miss the one out there. Oh, I should go get it. I'm gonna go get it. Fuck it. That's the one. Right? Where is it? Let's look.
No, turn around. Let me show you.
The one that.
Oh yeah, you can see it. It's right out there. So pop around outside again. Yeah.
And yeah,
then,
it's. I shoot something. I don't remember.
No, the other side. Pop around the other side. Let me show you. Yeah. This is the one. Yeah, grab that. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. I just got you to the wrong side. Back to the other side. Sorry, I'm very Cultist Base turned around.
Where's the one? I have to shoot the thing, and it's.
That's at the very beginning. That's at the very beginning. We're past that.
Yeah, you want to go back in?
No, let's do this one.
Let's go back in.
There's one right here. Just go to the left over there. Turn around. Yeah, forward here this way. And then we're going to go down to the left. We're going to fall down there to the left. You didn't do this one. I did it already. Did you? Oh,
yeah,
you already grabbed
I did that.
Oh, shit, I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah. No, but I think... Let me think about this.
Oh, that's the one up in this, right. So you got to go all the way back. We can do that. That's not far. Because right there, up top there is like the beginning that we can just backtrack from. Yeah. And then we're going to do the... I gotta ask. This is the question here, because what you're about to do is a lot like fishing. It feels like fishing, and you put a dope fish at the end of fishing. And I know, Hugo Martin, that you yourself love you some fishing. Is that an influence into how the hell this fishing moment happens?
Well, no, I can't take credit because this is Nick. I mean, Nick did this. Okay. You know, they have their secrets. They have X amount of secrets that they could put into the level.
Look at him.
And a level designer. You know, the fun part of a level designer's job is just working out the level designers focus on pacing and flow of the experience. You know, they kind of the architecture, the where I go, why I'm going there. You know, we have a mission design doc and a narrative sort of script that we work through, and the level designer kind of crafts, you know, it's a shared role because gameplay designers also do secret passes and gameplay passes as well in puzzles and things. So it's certainly not a hard line between who puts secrets in the level. But in that case, that was actually Nick who put that in, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh,
Okay,
it's awesome.
what am I doing?
I think you might.
I would.
Are you doing lock on? What are you doing? I mean, lock on
I
is
think
so strong.
I do like lock on, but
You
I
do
also
remote
like
detonate?
just-
Ooh.
I like to put it behind the shield guys.
Oh yeah, feels good.
Oh wait, what?
There it is. Yeah, as
God,
a
it
big
is-
fan of
it is-
2016 Doom 2016 multiplayer, I always ran super shotgun and rocket launcher, and I remote detonate exclusively. I almost never aim specifically straight for somebody, just knowing that like I'll get that blast radius every time. So I was just playing on that. What were you about to say? Sorry.
I haven't played the game. Y'all ain't kidding when you say that this game is harder. So
Your hate must match his will. Only then will you be truly saved.
so I'll tell you.
You're like, I'll tell you after I kill this mancubus, but I will tell you.
So that
Some pregnant pauses
that
in here.
guy,
Yeah.
that line, and most of what his character is based on is Skeletor from He-Man, and the villain in Enter the Dragon.
Hell yeah.
So there's a scene in Enter the Dragon where Bruce Lee beats the shit out of a bunch of the guards in the underground facility, and then the bad guy Han, he comes out and he says, "Your fight with the guards was spectacular," you know, and I love the idea of like the bad guy, you know, kind of taunting and observing, kind of like a Bond villain, you know, the Slayer as he rips it. You know, the bad guy in a good Bond movie, you know, he's at some underwater, you know, oceanic base at the end of the Bond movie, and he knows that James Bond is coming, and he taunts him kind of the whole time. It's almost like a spider, you know, setting a trap
Yeah.
for the fly, and that's kind of like what that stuff is inspired by.
I love the way he projects in too, because kind of like what was it, like Snoke in the newer Star Wars? Like he's huge. Like that guy projects himself in like really imposingly compared to the actual size of that guy in real life when you end up seeing him later and taking care of him the only way that a Slayer could. I love how he projects himself so big. It's really cool. Cyber Spectre says, hard to speak your mind when you're in a Ferrari going 1,000 miles per hour. It's true. It's true.
No,
It's
it
hard
is.
to do.
It is not easy, unless you're like, you know, our fans who stream and play the game.
They just get so
That's
used
such
to
a-
it, right? It's like chewing bubble gum, rubbing their stomach, tapping their head, playing the game, having a conversation, reading chat, and just not missing shots. I mean, it takes a long time to master, but these guys did it super fast. Guys and girls, of course. Let's see. Take another question here from chat. Wow, it's just so hard to focus. I'm going to try to throw as much as I can if possible at you here. Someone named Chris, that's a name on from chat. The question is what is Hugo's favorite buff demon to fight against? What's your favorite buff demon?
The Marauder.
The Marauder buff? Ooh, that's
Yeah,
masochist.
when you
I like
fight-
that answer.
Yeah, when you fight him in that cage in the
The Ancient Gods
DLC.
Part 1, yeah, the Blood Swamps.
Yeah, that is my favorite.
I love
So
that
you
too
break-
because like you
you-
think you know the timing of the Marauder, right? Because you've played against that 1v1, that like samurai versus samurai Marauder, but then the buff totem version, like the speed totally throws you off at first, right?
Oh, completely.
It's like he's overdrive, he's supercharged. Like what the hell just happened? And I love, like you said, when he starts in a cage, you're like, where's this going? You know what I mean?
Oh, completely.
Wielder of Siva from chat says, Hugo, please read me the Doom lore as a bedtime story. So we're gonna have to get that audio book going. We're gonna get that series started. Hugo's bedtime stories, where he just reads the lore.
I would love to. We worked so many. I can't tell you how much we worked on that encounter. You know, it just endless rounds of iteration. Every single aspect of it.
We talking about the buff
considered. No. This
arena right now.
Like,
yeah.
so our arena designs are they're not easy to do. There's a lot of stuff happening under the hood. We consider like what these partitions are is that they provide the player with an ability to break line of sight. What we want you to do is that you're rewarded for moving. Like, and I tell you right here, like these partitions that we created, these are kit pieces, and the level through weeks and months and years of iteration on every single skate park. We hand placed all of these things, and so much thought is put into where these things go, making sure that these provide the player with just enough of a way to break line of sight with the AI, so they feel strong. The player is the analogy I use for the team all the time is like the player is like a mouse, and
A
the
very
mouse,
swole mouse.
yeah,
Buff-ass
a mouse out in the middle of the living room taking all these monsters is going to get crushed.
Yeah.
But a mouse, he wants to have little hidey holes and little things that he can quickly like duck and avoid and break line of sight with these enemies. And so the space has to be handcrafted for the player and our combat loop to enable players to feel strong, as they work through the experience.
Because that's got to be part of the toughest thing of your guys' design in general, right? It's like, so you've created this absolute monster. It's like the demons aren't the scary thing that, you're the scary thing. The demons are scared of you. But like that still has to have progression. That has to have all these different parts where you feel like you're challenged and you're a little bit overwhelmed, which is tough when you're the strongest entity in the universe, right? But I think like the way that you guys, like you're saying right now, like the way that you can challenge yourself and challenge a Slayer and put them in situations where like it's forcing you to, again, it's like we don't want to re-tutorialize anything, right? Like we've taught you once that standing still will get you killed. But now it's like these ways that you can subtly make, verticality, make these line of sight ways to break it, and make even dead ends like you showed in that last arena where it's like you have to get good and you have to do it through just the natural progression of like just trying to stay alive and trying to use all these crazy tools in your toolkit. You're just like, because at first, right, you're just like fumbling around like, oh shit, you're dropping your combat shotgun, you're dropping your heavy cannon on the ground, but eventually you get to the point where, like you said, you talked about it before, like that flow state, that fun zone where like you're just dialed in to everything you should be doing in the order that you do it in, and you're in control of it, right?
Yep, and again, we kind of we teach you a series of moves, and then you start to combine them together to deal with every single situation. And the better you get at combining them together, it becomes muscle memory. You don't have to think anymore, and that's when you reach that state in Doom, where it just feels really good.
Here's a softball question for us here. And by the way, you're about to start what I think is one of the, after these Lost Souls, of course, which shout out to Lost Souls. There aren't a lot of them in the game because they are pesky. They get stuck everywhere. They do whatever the hell they want because they are lost, truly lost in every way they can be.
They're a giant pain in the ass. I can tell you.
I'm sure from a programming perspective, they're nuts because they're just like these floating, fast, just monsters. This area, this arena right here, I have died more times than I'd ever like to admit on Ultra Nightmare here because you might be getting the super shotgun soon, but you don't have it yet. And the order of which you have to kill these demons in, and you're using right now another amazing set piece. It was in 2016, but it wasn't used the same way. These cue balls, these cue ball demons, like walk us through how you guys kind of like planned out and thought of, maybe we could make cue balls even more significant. Because I feel like in this arena, if you don't use them, you are deceased. You're already dead. You're starting it over, right?
That's really it. Like, combat puzzle worth your time to solve. So we give you the pieces, and it's not just pull the trigger, do stuff. You have to like conserve your resources and do things, in the right order, or you're gonna die. I mean, that's it. And we did want to make the engagement around them more meaningful, so that way players, really thought about how to use them effectively. We increased the power and the reward that the player gets from using them correctly, because everybody knows that they will wreck anything they hit, for sure. And we're just cranking up the challenge here,
And I love it, like,
for players.
as if it's not enough to have, like, be kind of more trapped than you were in the previous arena, right? Where, like, you're down in this blood pool. You just had to pop an extra life because it's not. There's also hazards on the ground, and by the way, the walls have spikes on them, and yeah, there's flames shooting up from the sides of the damn walls. It's like an actual, like, complete, Thunderdome. Like, this is just like death battle, and you are stuck in it. And like these waves of demons keep coming. Like I love the difference in the change. Like so fast. There's so many like, you know, kind of like you talked about before, like peaks and valleys in level design. I feel like this level puts you through like there's exploration, there's like the small corridor fights, there's the bigger arena fights, there's the crazy like jump puzzle explorations. Like this map really runs the gamut on like how to push the Slayer around and keep you thinking and keep you on your toes, I feel like.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I think Nick did a fantastic job, and everyone else. Oh my god.
You must grab wall. There we go. And then again, this is another. I love this cheeky idea that you get 2 dashes, which by the way, dashes in a Doom game. WTF, I love it. But then you get those little vials that give you an extra one in the air, so you have to be like, it's like that risk reward where you always want to just push it a little bit further to see how far you can get, and then they give you that one. You're like, I'm gonna death defy, just jump off this cliff or whatever, knowing that if there's one of those vials, I can get one more, you know, little boost, and then I can get there. And then the Sentinel Crystal, I love how you're about to get this, and you're about to pay for it with combat. This is great.
Yeah.
What are you gonna pick here?
I'm trying to think of which one I should get. I don't know. I think Flame Belch less time.
I like it.
I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I think so. And then I think after we do that, maybe we'll do ammo or something. I just like having more ammo. Even though you can always get it, you know, the chainsaw pip, the last pip of gas will always refresh. It's still, you don't want to be out of it. You don't want to be out of it, exactly. And then again, you're pulling, in 2016, it was all about having those Gore nests. You pull them, and that's kind of like how you start the arena combat. But I love this in Eternal. Again, it's another one of those things. You don't have to interact with those, right? Like, if you're just like having a good time and you're already challenged enough, you can just leave those alone. You know, don't even pull the damn Gore nest thing out of there. But these challenge areas, again, they gave you a crazy little thing that just popped up on screen, gave you a certain period of time where you had to complete that combat puzzle. But you did it, and now you're rewarded, and that's just another thing that's going to get you into basically having more rewards and choosing exactly how you want to, you know, fit out your massive Slayer power fantasy, which is just like unlocked every time you do those more and more challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and if you play the game, the more that you play the game and invest in the different systems in the game, the stronger you'll feel and the more fun you have. You know, it's I think that's the core elements to a satisfying shooter. Well, any kind of skill-based game, I should say. You know,
like I love this. It's like Nick is pushing you around. He's like, okay, what if you had to jump, shoot, punch? It's just like all of it is strung together in this.
We work really hard on that stuff. I mean, that took forever to
get all the timing
right.
And everything right. It felt doable.
Yeah.
And like challenging still. Yeah, without being impossible. Let me grab another question here. Okay, I'm gonna ask this question because I know what's coming next, and I think a lot of us in chat do, as far as the Super Shotgun area being close by. So here's the question. The question is from Covenant Slayer 1, which I had to read with all the leet speak that is in your name. So I saw you. I see you. The question is as follows. With the Super Shotgun, how did the demons get their hands on it? Did the Slayer lose in some early fight, or had or was it one of the things in the demons locked away when the Slayer was put in the coffin, aka sarcophagus, the UAC later recovers? This is a good, juicy lore question. So the question is
so how did they get their hands?
How did they get their hands on the Super Shotgun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably, you know, through their many excavations through Hell and the Sentinel, you know, the different worlds. They found it. I always think of it. It's his Excalibur, and you know, they found it along the way. So this sequence of the game is very much like, you know, he's reuniting with his weapon. So that's what I think, is that the you know, the UAC or someone in Hell or a Hell Priest. You know, Hell Priests are Sentinels. I mean, they are from that world, you know, originally. So they could have
before they all became a bunch
Typically,
of greedy mofos.
I'm not gonna, you know, blow smoke, and when there isn't an answer for a question, I'll tell you the truth. In general, we kept it general. Like, you know, I always just thought someone, maybe the priests, you know, found it, brought it back here. They want to keep the Excalibur, you know, away from King Arthur. They don't want the Slayer to have his favorite tool. This
Yeah, let's
all
talk about this Iron
giant
Maiden
pain
that's
in the
happening
butt.
right
Well,
now.
I mean, it's
And
an
this possession.
opportunity to also highlight some of the incredible work done by the animation team. Alan Rogers, our lead animator, is a tremendous developer and animator in his own right, and a fantastic lead. And his team worked really hard on these cinematics. Tony Garza, our art director, started out as our lead. Oh, I forget.
You were
that I
trying to
can't-
glory kill him. I saw that. I saw that.
Uh,
The wheels were turning. You were like, I know I got these
Yeah.
dangly boys, but can I just choke him or something?
Totally. Yeah, I think that those guys did such an amazing job. Tony Allen, the rendering guy, everybody on putting together those cinematics. Which one is my twin rockets? It is RT. Rocket Barrage.
Just
So
deleted
this
that.
is an opportunity for us to break up the combat just a little bit and give you something else to do for a second. I think I was saying this earlier, but basically I don't think that Doom 2016 did a good enough job of introducing enough new mechanics. So with all the traversals and different things, traversal puzzles and moments like these in Doom Eternal, I think it's a better paced game. Brings in some new things for you to do and master. And
Oh yeah, the Viva variety is
traversal-
crazy, dude. I mean,
yeah,
you're a
traversal-
revenant right now.
exactly, traversals are like anything else. I mean, you get better at them. The more you do them. Okay, we got that. There was a bug that used to happen here. Let's see if it does. It doesn't. Good. So now I've got my super shotgun. Now we know that at 144.
You're about to make a choice right
hertz-
here, by the way. I know everyone in chat is butt clenching, trying to figure out what it is you're going to do here, because you kind of have, without the game telling you at all, you make a choice right here. You make a conscious choice of what to do.
I do wish that we had the time to be able to make something happen out of keeping him alive or dead. Like that, this choice would have some impact, on your game. We died laughing the idea that he would be forced. We thought it would be so funny that the Excalibur, the priest tries so hard to keep it away from the Slayer's sword, his super shotgun, and ultimately you make a demon go get it for you, which I thought was hilarious. And then he hands it back to you, and he's just sitting there like, him doing something against his will. We like to be super mean to him, so I'm not. I feel bad for this guy. Nah, we just get rid of him.
I love that too, because there's that moment where you're like, but I was just him and he was me. But you know what? Still a revenant. He might come back to haunt me later. Let's take care of this. Okay. You're doing something right now that is so revolutionary, that is so crazy, and I'm not going to undersell this. I'm gonna sell it exactly for how much it should be sold. The meat hook, this traversal option, like, how the hell did you guys look at the double barrel shotgun, which I think is inarguably just the favorite of almost all FPS fans of all time in all the Doom games? But how did you take the super shotgun and go, there's something else we can attach to this thing that won't change how the super shotgun works, except for the fact that it'll change everything because it adds traversal? Like, talk to us about how the meat hook came to be, please.
Well, early in development, Peter and the weapons design team, they kind of get together, programmers, different people. We have discussions about what it is we would like to do. The meat hook came up. I think they did. It was a really cool idea, and they started iterating on it. And very quickly, you start to see the value that these things can bring. But early on in development, I think what you don't want to do is put too many restrictions, on the team, on the devs, on the overall experience. It is very much like, wouldn't it be cool if, and let me just get rid of this guy really fast. And hold on.
You're like, hold on, I need to break this. Yeah, now he's just a screaming lunatic that wants nothing else but to be beheaded, and there you go. Gift. Job done.
We're gonna leave him alive.
Keep
It felt great. I think one of the initial iterations had you pulling enemies to you, and that felt like it didn't. If we have the core pillars of the game that we're making, like we're very, very clear about what it is Doom is all about. It's a very focused experience. The development of Doom Eternal and Doom 2016 was very focused.
Yeah.
We zero in on what it is we're trying to make, and you can't be everything to everybody. You cannot sit there and say, early on, let's do it all. We'll be the game that excels at everything. If anybody's ever read the book Good to Great, it's a great book. It applies to everything. Don't be a jack of all trades, be a master of one. In order to stand out in the marketplace, in any place, I don't want to buy the thing that's like, it's really okay at everything. No, I want to buy the thing that's like, this is the greatest of this,
like nothing else does this like this does. This thing destroys this one area, like this one genre, this one like, it's just like you want to be at the apex no matter where you are, right? And it's so hard to do when you start, like you're saying, like you throw all the crowns, out of the box, and you're like, there's just a bunch of crowns. We melt these together, and it's just a blah.
That's it. And so with Doom, we know we want to make skill-based action shooter. Movement is among our core pillars. The most important thing in Doom is to move.
Yeah.
And so if I have a meat hook, the idea that it would pull enemies to me didn't feel right. And we just look at the core values, the core pillars of the experience, and say, well, movement is the number one thing. What if we are moved by the meat hook, that it's a grapple hook that pulls me, not the enemies? And it just felt right, like immediately. And we have incredible programmers and an incredible team of guys to just make the features in the game feel amazing. And they just got that sense of momentum very quickly. The physics related to the meat hook opened itself up to using it as a traversal tool, using the momentum to throw yourself up in the air. What kind of organically emerged is that at higher FPS rates, frame rates, it actually throws you farther, which we see great PC players, are getting some incredible aerial maneuvers, out of it. And I am toying with the idea of turning that on console as well. We know that on consoles, battle mode, we actually turned on 144 hertz meat hook traversals. So the meat hook on battle mode kind of functions like it does on a high-end PC, where it kind of throws you farther and faster. And I'm thinking about turning that on in the base console experience, the campaign experience as well. I'm not too worried about it breaking the campaign, because it doesn't break PC,
Right. Because it just means you can, that Ferrari just has one additional gear if you choose to, to use it. Right?
And PC players have proven that that's not a problem, because it doesn't break their game.
Right.
And that was awesome.
That was a good cue ball use. What will this poor Rakishon do now? Get wrecked is what it's going to do. One more sticky, and time to... Ooh, I see what you did there. Okay, so I think we only have one more, and maybe this one isn't even the combat one. I can't remember. No, you have two more to break.
Yeah, but, I think you don't want to spend too much time in paper design and video game development. I mean, you really want to evaluate what it is that makes your product compelling, and at a nuanced, almost subconscious level. Taking things from the enemies. That's the core to the Doom experience. What is an id game? To me, consumers buy id games to feel powerful, to feel unleashed, to feel aggressive. Unlike, that is what we sell to the consumer is a game that allows me to feel aggressive. That doesn't mean it has to be stupid either. I mean, we're selling a smart, aggressive shooter, taking things from enemies is a core part of the experience. That the enemies have resources that I need, and the only way to get it from them is to extract it from them, literally sometimes with my hands. That's what generates the sense of push forward, the go in and take it to the enemy, which is unique to shooters for sure. And so using those pillars, I think it's able to guide a lot of the decisions that you make during development. So as you're evaluating a meat hook, and you're saying to yourself, well, it could do this, and it could. You could sometimes, as a dev, get overwhelmed by the amount of decisions and options that you have. I mean,
that analysis paralysis thing, where you're just like, we have so many good things sitting on the table here,
and you'll just do it all. You know what I mean? And it's not good to do it all. Like, you have to be focused, especially for an action game. Do I want to get that? Yeah, I think I got them all. Okay.
Will we get a little record for later for the Fortress? Why not?
Yes.
Oh, it's the cheat code. I forgot. Sentinel armor.
Yeah. So you have to understand what it is you're making. You iterate and you pivot. Part of id's big advantage is How about they all die?
How about that?
Um,
Catch me inside. Oh my god, they just keep coming.
oh,
I love that guy. Like, you went to his buddy and you're like, wait, it's not you. Damn it, turn around. Let me. Your buddy's ready. And I love these. Like, this is just, again, like, never in a Doom game have we had blades coming down, fodder going, and it's all like, you know, just absolute tightest corridors possible.
yeah, well, I mean, and we want,
we go.
again, a lot of times
Love the
the
Zombo.
core,
Love the
little
zombie.
a little kind of basic design principle that we use at the studio is one more thing that I can handle. You know, like a hallway
that.
full of zombies, not bad. A hallway full of zombies with blades swinging down. That's the one extra thing, you know, that I have to juggle, and it's those clever little nuanced things that make the experience that much more compelling. I thought I did this already. Do I have to do it again? Okay.
Again, you're just following the green because green means go. Universal,
And-
I think, in every language and culture. So we got
And the
that one.
signposts, you know, that let you know what it is
Yeah, of
that
course.
you need to do. Hello.
Too hasty.
That was
Little
weird.
bunny hopped over it.
I think I left
Yeah,
something. over
yeah.
there.
There's a little Praetor suit armor.
Oh, I
Focus.
was just gonna say we've all done it, and we've jumped before my dash recharges.
That is actually.
That was actually.
I feel like it's one of the hardest things for like brand new players is to know that you have to kind of space out your double jump because people are just like jump, 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 and you're like, no. Every jump
Well-
has its own little trajectory, right?
Yeah, and that's actually what it's a hard thing to justify. I understand that it would. Jesus Christ, I did it again.
You didn't dash.
I understand that for players, it can be frustrating. That was frustrating. But the problem is if we don't show restraint as game designers, you'll spam that dash button nonstop and break the whole game.
Right.
You know,
You'll
I
just go
don't.
dash, 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 dash,
the,
dash.
the, that's it. The exercise of game design is not like, hey, let's just give you everything all the time, because that's not a video game. You know, like if we don't have some sort of rules, you know, in our world, then you would be spamming that thing nonstop, and it's not going to be a very balanced experience.
Right, and it's not going to be that fun because you're not going to feel like it's hard to feel like you accomplished something if you didn't like sometimes even be challenged and or lose it at first and then change what you're doing and then be like, oh, eureka, I just didn't know that there was this tool, or I forgot that I've done this before. And then when you do it, you're like, it just puts a little feather in your cap every time because you're like, oh yeah, cacodemons want to eat sticky bombs. That's what they want. You know what I mean? That's how to get rid of them most efficiently. So those things are like,
Yeah,
those are those rewarding moments for players where it's like, the game taught me this, or I learned this from the game, and then like every time I do it, it's just that it's like satisfying. It's just like clicking. You know what I mean?
Yes. All right, you die fast.
I was gonna say you got to get him out of there. And I love too that you guys didn't slow down the timer for when the weapon wheel comes out, because that would be like too easy sometimes just to be like, let me just get by a little time here. You got 9 seconds. Get it done. Oh, 2. How fast can the second glory kill be? And oh yeah, there's a. Oh, I thought there was still a fodder hiding somewhere. Well done, well done. Nicely done. That was sweaty. That was close.
Yeah, we spent a jeez.
Ah, too soon. Too soon.
We spent a lot of time trying to get the timing of those secret encounters right.
Yeah, I think you guys
That
got it
was
just
not-
right, man. Because like you said, it's like it always feels like there's one more thing you have to do when the time gets really close, and that's like how it's supposed to feel, right? It shouldn't just be like, I got this done and there's 15 seconds left. Like that wouldn't feel rewarding, right? It has to feel
No,
sweaty.
totally.
Dude, gargoyles, I'm telling you. Like
Oh, they're like the hardest AI in the game.
they have
They-
perfect accuracy. They throw from the apex of their jump. I like how you're moving the guy around to use it. I love it. I feel like this is also the first level where I was like, you could kind of soccer ball all of these, all of the explosive.
Jeez.
Oh,
I
jeez.
got stuck at the
All the
tank.
explosive ones that are, there you go, you're out. That are like actually like
I'll get
rolling
that.
around on the ground. I love just kicking those and replacing those. Uh-oh. Into Sandy City, shout out. Callback. You're like, ruh-roh. All right, there we go. Now it's time. Yeah.
So
you were like, I'm going to
was-
shoot it. I'm going to shoot it.
Well, I was convinced after the last playthrough,
That's
when
right.
every single tentacle hit me in the face, that something was up with tentacles. And whether there is something up or not, and the day one balance has changed, we're fucking changing the timing of the tentacles because it pissed me off when that happened. So
This is what I love about this playthrough is like, it's like coming back to all these things with fresh eyes. And you're like, look, I don't know if this changed because of the millions of things that we've done since we released this game, but it's going to now because
Yeah.
I feel differently about it than maybe I did 6 months ago or whatever. I love it. Just constantly, you know, turning those screws, improving everything, making it tighter and tighter. You're like, tentacles will become improved. Doesn't matter how they were at launch; they're gonna keep getting better. Oh, you gave him a little one on the side of the mouth. He was just like he wasn't fully able to get the meatball there. It's close.
oh, you're still alive.
Yeah, Mankey misses. Oh, there we go. He fell down. And I love too that like this part feels like that kind of like you've been underground for a lot in this map, and you kind of feel like, you know, you're back to almost the first area again, where you get like a little breath of a lot of light and sun and stuff, and it feels good. It makes it feel like, again, like those peaks and valleys. Like you've been underground, you've been going through all these like elevators and different planes, but now you're back outside. You see this rocky stuff again. You're looking for these crazy ass secrets that are just, oh, another dope fish. That is the one right there. It is on an altar. It feels unholy. Love it.
I thought it goes. Oh yeah, that's
You
right.
got
If
it.
I hit
Yeah.
the thing.
That one isn't the punchy boy. That one's the skull trigger. All right, so now
Shout out to Evan Eubanks and Jeff Rand and all the great, amazing gameplay programmers that we have.
hell yeah.
The way that I just popped that AI with the plasma rifle, that's Jeff Rand's handiwork. Because, you know, a lot of this stuff, it's just cool ideas. We do have to figure out how to get this stuff.
You got to go
work.
down first, remember, and you got to pop up that.
No, I was going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So hard puzzle, you know, lots of things to figure out here. When we ask you to piece these elements
Lots of
together,
green,
to
lots of
figure it
green.
out. That's
Yeah.
right. You got to follow the green, and then figure out, you know, how to make it all work. And lots of you are testing. Big shout out to the UR group that we utilize to be able to help us balance.
There he is again.
Yeah,
Taunting.
he's taunting you.
Look how projected he is. That's what I'm saying. I love the size of him. He's got like Snoke level size. He's huge. And then you get to him and you're like, it's this old wrinkly man? It's him? He's the guy? But it makes sense too, right? When you're like, yeah, this is this crazy, greedy, you know, sentinel priest that's just turned all corrupted. So like, yeah, turns out he's this little shrivelly old guy. That actually checks out.
Yeah, we had to make him large. I noticed that when we were dev testing, it was just like, dude, that's the guy who's not big enough. When we made him normal size, you were just like, who is
You're like,
this? Who cares?
wait, move out of the way, Imp. I can't see
Yeah.
the guy talking. That's fair.
Seriously. Like, am I supposed to be impressed?
Right. Here's a question. I like this one. I'm going to read it exactly how it's written because I think that's how it's intended. So this is from, how do I say this word? Nitria? I'm going to say his name is Nitria. The question is, how cacodemons fly? So Hugo Martin, how cacodemons
I
fly?
have no idea. So they have these little orifices that are like on their backs, and I think we've all seen them. And
Oh yeah.
for a second, we were gonna say that. And I think those are in the original designs. That we were gonna say that air shoots out of them, and that's how they move around. Of course, it looks like a butt, and we
Yeah.
didn't want to be gross, so we
Sure.
didn't do it. But I think look, man, you'd have to ask Romero and those guys.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
designed the original one, and I'm pretty sure that they're gonna tell you it's out of that little orifice on their butts.
We're not positive, but if we had a gun to our head, we would say probably those butts, that butthole. Sorry, it's might not be the answer that we all wanted, but maybe it's the one we deserve. It's just the way it's designed. Okay, it's not us, it's them. Here's another question for us. Let's see. So, okay, let me do this. Why don't we do the Spider Mastermind? I like, where was the Crucible one? There's a Crucible one. Here we go. Jack Burner asks, will the Crucible return in the future? If so, will it function differently from the main game? Something similar to maybe the Soul Cube from Doom 3, something like a Berserk power-up. So the
No,
question is will
it's
the
not.
Crucible
It's
return?
not in DLC 2 because you gave up your weapon, at the end of the game, and so yeah, honestly, also guys, it allows us to free up a little bit of space to provide you with a new ability. So for DLC 2, so in a new weapon. So I think it's a good thing. Trust me.
Okay,
But
okay. No, I'll take that. Spoilery answer. I love it. I think everyone does. So the Crucible's
yeah.
not coming back, but ... is all we got to say.
Yes.
It sounds like. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I'm starting to get my kit, and man, I understand what you guys are saying. Your Ultra Nightmare run-throughs.
Dude,
Shit gets hard when you don't have your tools.
it really does. When you're so used to like all the benefits that all the Praetor suit tokens give you, and then having like the ballista, which you don't have right now, having even the meat hook activate the fully modified version, the kitted out one where you have it having the flaming meat hook, like you get so used to that thing just popping out armor that when you meat hook somebody, you're like, wait, why are they not giving me armor? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm in the beginning of the game and I don't have that upgraded yet.
Absolutely.
I love how right there it feels like you're going to the end of the level and you're just done, and then it just drops you down into like this one last arena. I love it. What were you gonna say, man? What?
I am leaving weapon points on the floor here. I forgot to do some stuff.
It's okay. I mean, we found about at least I think 70% of the secrets in this.
I think we forgot to do a secret encounter.
Mm-hmm. Right tool for the job. Overloading those plasma shields of those zombie soldiers. Gotta love it. Man, no respect for the Revenant. He's like, I'll tell you what breakable part you have. Blood punch. And now you're just a screaming lunatic that... Oh, super shotgun. Okay, is respect. I like it.
You know what I've never... So, by the way, for controller players, so now we've got enough tools here, guys. We can start quick switching. And quick switching is just tapping back and forth between your last weapon for a controller player.
So like your weapon wheel, right? You can do that too.
Yeah, on your weapon wheel. So whatever I had out last is what I could switch to. So I can switch back and forth between these two things, and do, oh geez, some of this. And just start to melt people. And that's some advanced stuff. You don't have to do that, of course. I am unhurt me plenty. It's a little bit overkill. But as you progress on Nightmare, and you invest in some of your weapons, you are definitely going to want to make the load times better.
Yeah, you want to basically it's like basically the faster you quick switch, the more aware you are of like what weapons you have, where you're going next. It's just higher DPS, right? Like the damage per second just gets crazy, and then so again, it becomes that you don't fear the things thrown at you; they fear you because you're just outputting so much damage. And like you said, now you have so much of the kit, enough of the kit now to like really start utilizing quick switching and seeing like huge advantages for the amount of damage you can output.
Oh yeah. I actually love this little jump pad. I was so worried during development doing this because I thought people would do this. So you could probably break the game. Hey, by the way, players, don't do this because it's gonna break my heart. I'm gonna do it right now. Yeah, like you could totally break the game, I think, by going up and down this. But this staircase was in here at the beginning of this arena, and it just took like a year and a half to get
traverse,
up here.
And you're like, that's not good enough.
Yeah, it was just like, guys, what if we just, add, kind of angle a jump pad, and enable the players to kind of like traverse through the space sooner. They're kind of like that one in particular is kind of like, what is it kind of like the in like a racing game?
Oh yeah,
like the
it's like those little like speed boosts, like little chevrons in the ground that just give you that boost. So, and like you said, it happens a lot on like some of the more boring straightaway parts where you're like, okay, there's so many parts of this arena where like the traversal is really fun, but it's not fun just walking in a straight line. So maybe just push you there quicker, right, by popping that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. It feels very like Mario Kart in the right way, I think. Or like F-Zero for all those boomer doomers out there. Welcome back.
Oh, I love F-Zero.
Oh, dude, F-Zero is, it's the OG. It's one of the best. Because they're like checkpoints. Yeah, checkpoints plus these crazy things on the ground. You have to swerve out of the way to hit, but they give you crazy speed bursts. Love it. I love this too because like there's the, did you grab the one secret that has, what is it? It's the armor in it? The one, cause you busted through the wall over there, right? Or did you not? I can't remember.
I didn't do it.
Okay. But I love too that those are options, like amid all this craziness, there's the option of like, there's that one up higher where you have to use this, your double jumps, your dashes to do it just right. And then there's the, down there behind you to the left, there's that other one.
Yep.
But here we are. Cultist base.
That's right. And now we're heading into the next level. We're gonna face the priest himself, well, his minions.
Yeah.
And the Doom Hunters, which are like his Frankenstein monster, which is cool. And yeah, it's fun. Haven't played this in a long while. It's so good. Well, long while, 3 weeks. But
yeah,
but
feels like forever.
well, see, I left stuff on the table here. That's it's fun. We really want people to, be encouraged to go back and try to 100% the levels because you're leaving. Oh my God, I forgot the Slayer Gate. How stupid is that? I wanted to do the Slayer Gate.
It's okay.
I totally
can't do them all.
Well,
you can, but
yeah,
we'll do it next time. We'll do it
next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, this hopefully encourages players to go back and experience more of what Doom has to offer, for sure. What else? Questions? What are you thinking? What else should we cover?
So we are already up to chapter 3. Again, as we all know, there are 13 levels, but Necroville Part 1 and 2 we're going to do combined 1 week. So we're going to do 12 full weeks of this. This is only week 3. This is still like the very beginning, the tippy top of the mountain that we're about to climb. We're like in the very low region still because, and again, like it shows in your kit, right? You now have the super shotgun plus the meat hook, so we can start upgrading that, getting the flaming meat hook, which just changes everything about not only traversal but being rewarded for using that traversal every time you hit it. But ballista's coming up soon. We got like so many more goodies in the goodie bag. Like the Swiss Army knife is barely even like unfolding right now, and you're already powerful as shit. You've already got an ice bomb, you got a frag, but again, those Praetor suits, all that stuff is just going to keep stacking up.
Well, and I haven't even used them yet. I mean, I've amassed a good amount of combat points and Praetor suit points.
Yeah.
I picked up a lot of manhole covers, and I'm going to, in the next round here when I go back to the hub. I'm sorry, when I go to Cultist base, I'll probably, the first thing I'll do is start leveling up my character, to unlock some of that power. Anxious to get the ballista. That's when I can start seriously laying down some damage. But I think we'll start quick switching. Once you increase the reload, the scope speed of the and the utility of the precision bolt, you could really start using that for some really sick, powerful DPS combos. Quick switching between the super shotgun and the precision bolts, definitely a good way to go. Really skilled players will combo between the precision bolt and the Gauss.
Yep.
So there's just lots of different ways to be laying down some serious power on these demons. And then of course there's if you don't want to do that, you got to upgrade the plasma rifle. You could lean on the heat blast. There's an OP mod that kind of unlocks once you master that thing, where you get extra fast, extra strong plasma balls after a successful heat blast. You've got the chain gun. I haven't even unlocked that yet.
No, we haven't
lock on rockets.
Not until super
there's a lot of different ways to cut up these enemies and keep up with them, so looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
And on the screen that we're on right now, again, this is the last weekend, so double XP starts now. It's the weekend before the weekend because it's Thursday, y'all. So basically now until Monday, everything you do in the game, just playing the game regularly, doing all of the weekly challenges, playing battle mode, completing matches, all of it gets you double XP, which gets you faster through the gift wrap and tear, which is almost over. So get your Frost Archvile, get everybody. You gotta get that Santa Slayer. You want that package, that literal gift wrap package of your equipment launcher. You need to see that on the left side of you coming out when it's time. So make sure you guys all grind this weekend. Get everything in there. We want you to have it. It's all free to earn. Go get it. It's the last weekend for that. What's next? We'll see next Thursday. Not only for getting right back here, same time, same place, but we're going to we'll go back to the Fortress of Doom. We'll maybe upgrade some things on the Praetor suit, and then we are going to get into Doom Hunter base, which, like you said, there is some Frankenstein vibes. There are so many beautiful set pieces, and again, different traversal, and the challenge just gets like plus 10, I feel like. But then
Yeah.
the arsenal opens up wide, and I feel like after that point, you know, you're ready to start taking on some serious crazy encounters that we will see in maps like, of course, Super Gore Nest and others. But everybody that's been here, Hugo and I, thank you guys for being here. We love you guys. We encourage you guys to go in and play. And as Hugo always says, there is nothing that you can do in your day that doesn't help being fuel for the fire for whatever you guys want to go out there and do, whether it's dev or writing or painting or podcasting or anything. It's all good inspiration, right?
That's right. It all funnels back into the stuff that you create, especially if you're working in the entertainment industry. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right now in between as we work on this DLC too. I'm just recharging the batteries, getting to play a bunch. I have some time on my schedule here, so I'm just playing as much stuff as I can, watching things. Haven't watched Mandalorian yet, but
no spoilers,
Wonder
Chad.
Woman,
How dare
which
you?
was
No
cool.
spoilers. Yeah.
Wonder Woman was Wonder Woman was just okay. I have to be honest, but we're not going to say negative things about other people's projects because they work hard on these things.
Yeah.
So that's all that really matters. But I liked Wonder Woman; it was pretty cool. But what else?
First two acts were good. I think we can all agree on that.
Yes.
Gal Gadot, Pedro Pascal, no complaints.
Yes,
Focus on the good. Focus on the good. Yeah.
working on Hades, and then lots of goodies, and then playing the crap out of DLC 2. We're balancing it right now for you guys. They're working hard on that stuff. So lots to come.
That's right. But we will see you guys right back here, same place, same time next week. Don't forget, we love you. We're glad you're here, and we'll see you soon. Thank you, Hugo, for joining us. And yeah, thank you, everybody out there.
Hey, and I'll get better internet, and it will be awesome.
Maybe the filter will be a different filter for Hugo's camera next week. Stay tuned.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. All right.
All
Love
right.
you guys. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you.